Hello, friends.
Hi!
And welcome inside our camper.
No home office today.
No.
Home camper. We don't really have a reason why we're doing this in here, but we just wanted to.
Because it's fun. If you're unfamiliar with our camper, we actually did a video tour of it, which we'll link to, and you can check it out. So you can see all the details. We're just chilling here with our friend Dino. Enough about that. We are here to tell you about Jewel of the Seas from Royal Caribbean.
Yay!
So in case you didn't know or you missed out on all the fun, which we'll link to this as well, we have a playlist consisting of like 12 videos so far about Jewel of the Seas. We did a 9-night Southern Caribbean cruise. Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, baby. 9-night Southern Caribbean cruise this past February on Jewel of the Seas. It's the main thing we're going to get to here is the actual ship itself. This is our top 5 things that we loved about Jewel of the Seas. Even though we just told you about where we went, we're not focusing on that. We're not ranking this on itinerary or anything like that. It's literally just the vessel. Yeah. Just Jewel of the Seas, the top 5 things that we liked about it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff to like.
Let's kick it off. Our top 5 things that we liked about Jewel of the Seas.
Jewel of the Seas.
Number 5.
Number 5
is
Chops
Grille.
Yeah.
Chops Grille. This was a fantastic meal. Day 2 of our sailing. So check the vlog if you want the full in-depth recap.
It was great. On Jewel, we ate at dinner at Chops, and it was fantastic. Definitely one of the best steaks I've ever had. Everything except for one thing was absolutely perfect. The only thing that like wasn't perfect was like the soup.
The lobster bisque, which was more like a soup than a bisque, and it was heavily flavored with tarragon. And that's just a preference thing, really.
Yeah.
Taste preference. If you really like that tarragon, then you might really like this.
That was the only thing that I would change. But everything else, the steak was cooked perfect and it was delicious. All the sides were cooked perfectly and delicious. You had your favorite dessert ever.
The apple pie was the best I've ever had.
Yeah.
Far and away. I had the ribeye steak and it was very good, but then I tried Chelsea's, she had the filet, and that was the clear choice. That would be my recommendation.
Definitely.
Go for that because I like to eat a lot, especially a lot of meats. I kind of went with the ribeye because it's bigger and I love ribeyes, but their filet was so much. And there was plenty of meat on that as well. Actually, it ended up being a lot bigger than I thought.
Oh yeah, and they give you so much food because you know Chops is pretty common with all world ships. But what was nice about this one was that they just gave us all the sides. Yeah. You know, usually you have to pick which ones you want. They just gave us a portion of everything and we shared it at the table. So that was really nice for us that we got to try everything. But it was a lot of food. So, I mean, you're not missing out by having, like, less meat. Like, it was plenty.
And our server was fantastic, the one who hooked that up, Rodrigo. So that was very nice of him.
We didn't have Azumi, which was the other specialty restaurant on Jewel. But if you're picking between Giovanni's and Chops, I would definitely highly recommend Chops. If you're looking about having a special kind of night, having a special dinner, celebrating something, I think this is definitely the way to go, is Chops.
Number 4 on our list is the
Safari
Club.
Yeah.
The Safari area, I like to call it. When you first go in, I think there's a sections called like the Game Reserve or whatever. And
oh, is that what it's called?
And then there's like each little section is kind of named something differently, but it's the Safari Club.
When you enter, you have pool tables and you have some seating. There's a couple of TVs. And then you go further and it's the actual lounge, which is a very big venue.
Huge. Lots of space,
lots of very comfortable seating, several bars, and it was just a great spot where they had karaoke, they had nightly evening music, and we went to this location probably one of the most.
It was the go-to for nightly activities. The theming in there, like the name gives it away, Safari. It was very African influenced, dark woods, but there was several different kinds of seating available. They had like semicircle booths, they had just standard tables and chairs, they had bar rail seating.
It was definitely less busy during the day. It was at the very back of the ship. So it was really nice to go to during the day, just if you kind of want to sit and relax and just look at the ocean. Look at the, what's it called? The
wake
Yeah, watch the wakes.
They also stored board games in there at the Serengeti Card Club. That's what it's listed as on the map. I never saw a sign that said that, but...
I'm so disappointed I didn't notice that during the whole time. That's great.
I know they had cards, board games, Sudoku, daily trivia that you could get in there as well.
Unless they were doing like an art auction or something in there. There wasn't too many people there during the day, but then at night is when it really got pumping in there.
Yeah, and especially for certain events like the Quest game show, it was a packed house, standing room only, and there were people standing. So that was all part of the same venue. Just a great venue, great all around. And that will take us to number 3, which we're going to call the Centrum design. And what we mean by that is, if you don't know, in the middle of the ship, essentially, the central part of the ship, there is an atrium. The central atrium. Centrum.
It's like those, I don't remember what it's called, but that old show, like where it blends words.
I think that was the electric company.
Like cat center, atrium, centrum.
More or less.
Something like that.
This is the middle part of the ship, the central part of the ship, and it spans from the 4th deck to the 12th deck, I believe. It's just massive. It goes all the way up, and it's kind of like a cylinder design of how it's laid out, and then each deck there's like these little alcoves and balconies that hang off that you can come over and view down to what's going on. But they would have live music, different kind of things. They would have pop bands playing, they would have like disco party in there, they would have strings playing violin music and stuff like that.
Another thing is too, is just everything in that area is made of glass, it feels like.
Yeah, the most glass of any class of ship, and in fact the elevators on the port side actually are glass, and then there's a large glass window that spans several decks that looks right out to the ocean. The way it was appointed, the art features, it had a beautiful chandelier that was supposed to represent the Aurora Borealis with the way they put the lights on it. Waterfalls on each side with colored lights behind those.
Because of all the glass, it made everything so reflective.
Yeah.
And just the lights and the colors and stuff just bounced off it really well.
Just a cool design.
Yeah.
Kind of fitted the whole design of the ship, and the theming and the art they had up was great. But the Centrum, I think, was the part that really nailed it. The piece de resistance.
Oh, you're so fancy.
I'm so fancy.
You already know.
I'm not fancy. So that's number 3. Number 2, a place that we really liked and we wish we would have spent more time at.
The Solarium!
The Solarium. Those of you who don't know, is the like adults only, essentially.
Yeah, I think it's actually 16 and up, but it's adult only.
Anyone, I think, can like transverse through there.
Yeah, I mean, kids can go through there. They can cut through to get to the other portion of the ship. They just can't like stay and swim in the pool. What?
Why did the kids go through the Solarium? To get to the other side, because they're not allowed to do anything else.
Because that's all you can do. The end.
What a horrible joke.
I liked it.
I did too. This was a very well done and themed pool.
It has an Asian inspired theme. So, you know, on the sides it has like these big golden elephants, and it has this really big gong bell.
Yeah.
It's like this little bridge that you can walk over, and just lots of neat stuff like that.
And what was really cool is there's lots of glass around, so you can see out both sides. But then the top, the ceiling, is glass as well, and actually retracts.
Yeah. It was nice getting that fresh air coming in, but if it's while you're sailing and you can't have it open while you're sailing, it's nice that you still get the light that comes in.
Yeah, and during the day they would pipe in like bird noises, birds chirping, and then at night they would chime in like cricket noises.
Yeah. And I think that's an important thing to note too, is that it was really cool during the day and it was really cool at night. Food
at that Solarium Cafe was really good.
It was so good. It's seriously the best pizza I've ever had on a cruise ship.
Yeah, and they had pizza in the Windjammers and other places, and it was good, but this, I don't know why, this one was like next level.
I don't know.
They would have prime ribs, sandwiches.
I don't know if maybe like it doesn't sit out as long. Like
I don't know.
Every time we got it, it just tasted super fresh. Like it just came out of the oven. It was a very nice place to just like grab a plate of food and just relax. I think it was definitely the most relaxing spot on the ship.
That's why Solarium ranked at number 2, although we didn't spend much time there. It was that impressive.
But if you're going, spend more time than us. Don't make our mistakes.
That's right. So that will bring us to number 1, which if you'd asked me before to guess what our top 5 would have been, I would have never guessed this.
No.
Never would have guessed this.
Windjammers. Our favorite Windjammers ever. And if you don't know what Windjammers is the buffet that Royal offers. It's complimentary to your cruise. It was amazing. It was the best Windjammers ever.
To be clear, like, we're not big buffet people. It's not like we just go and shovel food all the time. But, like, this was really good, though. And for several reasons. Number 1, the food inside this Windjammers buffet was better than we've had at the other ones. And better than other cruise lines buffets we've had. Everything
always tasted really fresh to me. Like, it didn't taste like it had been sitting out a long time.
Yeah, and even though this is a smaller ship and a smaller sailing, thus a smaller area, and thus less offerings than you might find on a mega ship, they still had like a lot of different things and a great variety to choose from. And they would have some things consistent every day, especially at breakfast, but then they would offer new things. And what I really liked is they did a lot of specialty things, like make your own pizza.
If you watch the vlogs, you heard me talk about that nacho/taco bar several times, and I ate it up every single time I saw it. It was so good. But also, too, I don't think I mentioned in the vlogs, but one evening they had a build-your-own-wok stir-fry thing, and it was so delicious, and they just had a lot of that kind of stuff every night. But even the stuff that was consistent, I still feel like it was a good variety, because a big ship like Oasis, they may have more stations, but they're doubled up stations.
Right.
So you have one row that's exactly the same as this row, just so it can handle the amount of people coming in there and eating. However, but this, I guess maybe because it was a smaller ship, it didn't need to do that, so it could kind of have some more different stuff. Like, some things were doubled up, like 2 dessert bars and stuff like that, but I feel like for it being a smaller space, we had a very good variety.
Smaller space, it didn't feel like a smaller space, because there was always tables available, always.
And it had the biggest outdoor seating ever, which we love.
That was fantastic. The view that you got off the back of the ship and somewhat on the sides of the ship, it was just great. And to get that fresh air coming out of there, we enjoyed that every single day. There were always plenty of tables and seats available, which is a rare thing to be said about a cruise ship buffet.
I do think we didn't have as many people on our sailing, but it was just nice and comfortable. There was only one day the entire sailing. It was actually the day we did our ship tour, and it was just completely packed. Even on its most crowded day, it wasn't as bad as what it usually feels like to me. I feel like the layout was exactly what it needed to be. I think it was so helpful having so much indoor seating as well as so much outdoor seating, because I feel like people can really spread out more and people can get their preferences. And I think that's why it sticks out so much, is because the buffets are such a half thought.
Yeah.
Like you know that a cruise is going to have them, but you're not really like thinking too much about what it's going to be. It's just like, oh, I can always go there and get food, okay. But the fact that it stuck out so much, while we were having it, we recognized how much we were enjoying it, so much more than other ships that we had been on. I feel like that's why it deserved to be our number 1, because it felt superior to other ones that we've had.
So that will wrap up our top 5. To recap, number 5 thing we loved about Jewel of the Seas, Chops Grill. Number 4 thing we loved about Jewel of the Seas, Safari Club. Number 3 thing we loved about Jewel of the Seas, the Centrum design and overall aesthetic and theming of the ship. Number 2 thing we loved about Jewel of the Seas, the Solarium. And number 1 thing that we loved about Jewel of the Seas is the
Windjammers!
Ah! The cabinet that's blue.
I know.
So as always, if you guys have any questions about anything, any comments about anything, you want to get in touch with us, feel free to leave a comment down below in the comment section of this video. Check out our playlist of Jewel of the Seas so you can see all the other videos. If you'd like to sail on Jewel of the Seas or any of the Royal Caribbean's other ships, feel free to reach out to us. We have all of our travel agent information at the end of our videos. That is free of charge. We do not incur a cost to you. We're here to help. We love to help, and we'd love to see you guys go on Jewel of the Seas or any of these other fantastic ships. We're also on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you're going to be sailing on Jewel of the Seas anytime soon, these will give you 5 things that you'll definitely want to check out.
Yeah.
So we've had fun telling you about it. Signing off from our beautiful retro camper. Until next time, as always, happy travels! I don't sell Ninja Turtles. That's just what my shirt is.
That's unfortunate.
That's just the fun part. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Turtles in a half shell. Turtle power.
Yeah.
I did it right?
Heroes in a half shell.
Oh, darn. Turtles in a half shell.
Heroes in a half shell.
Oh, no. What is it?
Heroes. Heroes in a half shell.
Turtle power.
There we go.
Okay.